Maybe going live. I'll be back in a second just to check if we have gone live. Okay, and we are now going to be live. Hello, everyone. Hello.
He's going for it. But that basically should be the whole show, shouldn't it? Because we're going to play lots of improv games where we make up scenes, songs and stories based entirely on your suggestions.
So class, here's what you need to know.
We're going to get straight into our first game in a moment, but first of all, for everyone watching, we're going to need lots of suggestions from you throughout the show. Give us lots and lots of suggestions.
Give the people what they want!
Okay, so I think I am now live. Just so I'm getting this set up, I want to say hello, everyone. This is something very different that I'm doing today. Attempting something different. Just to give the background on this, last night we had an Extremes live improv comedy show, and right before we got to the final section of the show, we had a catastrophe of catastrophic proportions. Can you even say that? But we had a catastrophe as far as the internet goes, and it meant that the whole stream went down. So I figured today, before we've got another show tonight at 8:30 p.m. UK time, that I would do a quick test stream. And the test stream I'm going to do is going to be, I'm just checking it here, so that is working. The test I'm going to do here today is an extreme improv sketch show, and everyone who's watching this probably thinks that, unless you can twig it from the screen obviously, thinks that that is going to mean that the extreme improv sketch show is some sort of scripted comedy show. We will do that in the future, I promise you. However, what I literally mean is, no, it's a sketch show. I'm going to be doing some drawing just to test if this whole thing actually works. So I don't expect this to get a ton of viewers, but it's still going to be an interactive show. So if there is something you would like me to draw, then put it in the comments. If there's something you would like me to do as a speed drawing challenge, then I can do that as well. But by all means, comment on what I'm doing. I'm going to start by drawing The Simpsons, just because I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for, and it will be a nice easy thing for me to have a go at drawing, and that way it won't be that I get halfway through and then give up. So first thing we need to do is, oh, look at that. So we've got that's working there. Let's just click undo on that. So here we can see that we have this working. So as you can see, this is a sketch show. This is a live sketch show. And I'm going to start just by drawing Homer Simpson. So I don't know how much I've got this zoomed in actually. I haven't really checked this. I'm happy with this. I can always expand the size of the canvas. So to draw Homer Simpson, first thing you want to do is get a circle for the eye. This is going to be a rough drawing. I'm not going to say this is going to be a perfect drawing. And the second thing you want to do drawing any of the Simpsons characters is then draw their nose, and they have one of these little round noses. So if you can see this, you can see it looks currently, it could be pretty much any of the Simpsons family and so many of the other characters as well. And the third thing is you want to do another eye that joins onto that, and then you want to give them like nice round pupils in the middle of their eyes. And if you want to still keep this ambiguous as to what character you are drawing, the next thing you would want to do is draw an ear. Now there you go, that could still be pretty much any of the Simpsons, but if I want to make this definitely Homer, I just come down and I give him his 5 o'clock shadow. So I'm going to draw that round there, and that is now definitely Homer. Some people may think it's Krusty the Clown, but if it was Krusty the Clown, then Krusty the Clown's mouth would have an extra lump on the side there, but of course that wouldn't be in addition to the edge of the mouth. From this, I am also going to put on all of the Simpsons characters have like a little brow bit for their eye, and it could be very easy to forget to do that. And then Homer Simpson comes up nice and round there, and the head could be a little bit better shaped there. Could be a little bit better shape. I'm not going to spend too long. See, it's just like that tiny amount out. But let's just tidy this up. And I haven't used Photoshop like this in ages, so I don't know if I'm going to have all of the right tools to hand. But then the next couple of things with Homer, here's an interesting piece of trivia, is because it was designed by Matt Groening, although it reads like it's Matt Groening, he actually put his initials hidden in the drawing of Homer Simpson because his hair on the side looks like the letter M and the ear looks like a G. So it looks like M and then G. Matt Groening. How about that? Then Homer has two hairs on the top of his head, like that. And then the last thing we need to do just to draw Homer's face, draw his upper head, to have a complete drawing, is just draw his neckline. And I do have a reference photo, which I haven't used because I've been able to draw Homer Simpson most of my life. So I know how to draw this one from memory. But I do have lots of other characters which I will start to add on. I'll start to draw some of these other characters. So the next thing we need for Homer, look, I've drawn this so big, I won't be able to fit many characters in. But I'll fit on what I can. Let's zoom out actually, just so I can see what playing space I do have. So I can put some characters next to Homer and behind Homer, and I can extend it if I want to fit more characters in. So first of all, Homer's got that for an arm. Don't know why I've got his arm lent so far forward. And then let's put his arm down here. And then he's got a hand with fingers, 2, 3 on a Simpsons. They're very rough fingers. They look very lazily drawn. I think I don't like that whole arm's got to go. The whole arm has got to go. So let's just quickly click undo, oops, not undoing anything. So we're going to undo the arm. So in terms of this being a speed drawing, it's not going too well. So, but let's do something a bit more characterful with the arm. So Homer's going to be having his arm over here, and put his arm out like this, and having it there, and we can put a can of Duff beer in his hand. So 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and that will do. And that can be a can of Duff. We can put a D, U, and then the FF there. So we get the idea that he's holding a can of Duff beer. From there, we need to give him a nice round beer belly, because Homer and Bart have this like round curved body. And I don't think the idea that Bart's meant to be too overweight, whereas obviously Homer is. And then his leg will come down there, the other leg will come down there. This is where I get lazy when I'm drawing it, because by the time you're doing this bit, it's like, whatever. If you're not doing it as the most serious drawing, then it doesn't massively matter. But Homer's now stood there with a can of beer, and next up, let's put his good lady wife Marge next to him. So Marge, in theory, is a little bit shorter, but we're going to start with the eye as well, and we're going to draw this one a lot quicker. And she has the same nose, so you see that at the moment this is all the exact same progress. And then let's put Marge looking across at Homer, and we can give her a smile on her face, even though Homer doesn't look too happy. And so on a Simpsons cartoon, when they've got a smile, they've got this little curve at the edge of their mouth. And then they have like a big overbite, so it's still the same. Gosh, she's got a massive bottom lip there. So I said I'm not going to take too long, and I do mean it. And then this is where things start to diverge, because this could still be Bart, it could still be Lisa, it could still be Maggie. But let's remove Bart from the equation there, because if you draw a female Simpsons character, they have eyelashes. For some reason, perhaps because ladies put makeup on their eyelashes, that makes them stand out more. But for some reason, on so many cartoons, if you want to make a cartoon look feminine, you just put the eyelashes on. Don't know why, but it works that way. So next up, let's put her neck in. We don't want her to have too big a neck. And then we need to start putting her hair in. And so Marge's hair is literally this curly perm thing. And once again, she's got the brow that shows. And then, of course, Marge has the very big hair that goes up. I'm just checking where it begins on my reference picture. But if I just do it basically from memory, it's just, I shouldn't even be doing these as individual loops. They can just come up, and she's got the very tall hair. So let's try and get the very tall hair, which doesn't come to a point. It stays consistently round up. And then the next thing, I could have kept this so you were still guessing if it was Lisa, Maggie, no, sorry, Lisa or Marge here, because both Marge and Lisa wear a pearl necklace around their necks. So there we go. That's how we can get that to be either of them. And then they have the dresses that come down here, and then Marge's arm comes here, down like this next to Homer. And so the slight difference here is she's got a bit more of a visible bust than Lisa, because Lisa's obviously a child. And I don't know, can we make it so they're holding hands? Is that a bit too cheesy? Yeah, people are just going to have to work out what's going on there with their hands. Marge looks happy enough though. So there's a little bit of evidence of a thumb. And then obviously Marge's legs can come down here. And her skirts, her dress doesn't go all the way down. But then we see some of her leg into her shoes. Same on that side. And like I said, I'm not very good at drawing feet, so especially when they're going off the edge of the page. These characters might be slightly too short in the leg, actually. But that will do for now, because we're just doing quick drawing of all of these characters. This would be going a lot quicker, in fact, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm trying to narrate it as well. Because it's the first time I've done an extreme improv sketch show, which is where I'm literally live sketching characters. And if there's anything you guys out there watching may like me to sketch, like me to draw, just put it in the comments. If you like what I'm doing, let me know. If you don't like what I'm doing, let me know. It's all good. This is basically just me attempting to do a test stream to see if the stream works, because we do have a live comedy show coming up later tonight. So next, let's draw Bart Simpson over here. Let's make him facing the other way, just for the sake of it. So Bart facing this way. I might have Bart far too short. How short should Bart Simpson be? I don't think he should be too much taller. This is like, I'm just going to check actually, because I may be more in Maggie Simpson territory here. So, where should Bart be? He should perhaps be a tiny bit taller. Tiny bit. So let's just grab that and just move it ever so slightly. Whoops, it doesn't want me to. It doesn't want me to. Ah, what am I going to do? Why isn't it letting me move that? Well, then we'll just have to undo it. We'll just have to rub it out. So, get the rubber tool, make that a bit bigger, rub that out, and we'll start again on Bart. Because it didn't want me just to move it up a little bit, so let's have Bart's eye about this level. That looks a bit more correct for Bart. Ooh, don't like that nose. Okay, maybe it's more difficult to draw Simpson's character facing the other way. I really don't like that nose. He's got a bulbous nose that he doesn't actually have. And then, so we've got the nose. That is not a good Bart Simpson nose, but it will do. And let's have Bart looking a bit annoyed about something, not sure what. And oh my god, look, this is not Bart Simpson. That nose, the eye, everything about it, he's like Bart. He's not Bart. I will not have a cowman. I'm not going to stress too much, because we can just draw it again. This is the fun thing about drawing on a computer rather than drawing on like actual paper, is it's a lot easier just to think, I'm going to try that again and redo it. Still make him look annoyed because I got him wrong. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Don't think I've ever sneezed on a live stream before, so try not to do it during the sketch show, because I don't even have someone else that I can put your attention to just to continue this on. So let's just bring up the chat, see if anyone's got anything they would like to say. They don't, but we have quite a few people watching, so that's kind of cool. So if you're watching this and there's anything you would like me to draw, I don't have to be drawing The Simpsons for too much longer. I can draw anything. So let's get a annoyed looking Bart, and let's draw his ear on. So once again, this could have been any of the characters. And annoyed looking Bart. And let's put his neck there. Oh my god, he is like a squished face Bart. Don't know what we're doing, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Okay, if we sort out his neck a little bit, that will smooth things over. So we've got a very squashed face Bart, but he's looking really annoyed. So we'll leave that there. And then, like I said before, same body shape as Homer. Same like top of the arm as well. Put that there. And what else do we need? So I'm just going to bring up my reference drawing because I've stupidly hidden it from my own view. But yeah, let's continue on with this. Okay, and oops, that's the wrong pen. That's for my iPad Pro, whereas I need my Cintiq pen. Let's have Bart here, and oops, and let's put slingshot in his hand because Bart is known for having his slingshot. And when I say that, that's like 20 years ago. But here we can put his slingshot in his hand. So slingshot's got the rubber band around it. So there we go, it's got the rubber band. And then we'll put this couple of bits of the loop from the rubber band of the slingshot. So he's got his slingshot in his hand. I should have got like a proper reference photo. Oh my god, that's really fat Bart. Let's just undo that. Bart does not need to be that fat. He is not that fat. I'm not that fat, as Max Bialystock said in The Producers. And that is basically Bang Bang Bart. So Bart is so fat here. We'll sort him out. We'll sort it out. Bart does not need to be that fat. He's got like a complete pudgy belly. He's more like Uta. Uta from Germany, yeah. I love the character Uta. They didn't ever use him that much, though. At least not in the old episodes. I haven't seen as many of the newer episodes of The Simpsons, but I've seen quite a few of them recently because I got Disney Plus. I got that just before lockdown started. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bothered. But it's been cool. I've been watching a little bit of, quite a lot of The Simpsons. I've been watching a little bit of The Mandalorian. Only saw the first couple of episodes of that, but I do need to check that out. Who else shall we have a quick go at drawing from The Simpsons? So, if we've got Homer, Bart, and Marge, then we need Lisa. So let's put Lisa this side. So it can be the boys one side, the girls the other. So there's Lisa once again. You'll see that all of these are drawn the exact same way to begin with. And so, again, let's make the girls a bit happier than the boys, whereas Homer looks annoyed and Bart looks annoyed and Homer just looks a bit confused. So there we've got the necklace on Lisa. We'll give her eyelashes, that way we know it's definitely Lisa, and we also know that it's not Maggie. Let's put Lisa looking up here at something, not sure what. And then the key to drawing Lisa is that she's got, once again, I think it's, is it 7 spikes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7 or 8 spikes on her head. 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. Oops. If some need to disappear behind Marge's head. 7, 8. So then we have Lisa Simpson, pretty much just there. She's drawn already. And let's put her arm down by her side like this. And oops, I've got like a weird hook on her finger. So let's just round that up. Not going to worry about it. And then put her dress on her. Lisa's dress is spiky at the bottom, like she's got spiky hair on the top. And put her arm down there. And then we should actually get this character's feet in the shot. How about that? First one. And there's such simple things to draw their feet, but I'm just doing them very rough. And what else do we want next? I think next up, we need, of course, to have Maggie. We can't have the Simpsons clan without Maggie involved. So let's get little Maggie Simpson drawn over here. And you'll see that, once again, Maggie Simpson is basically Lisa Simpson with a couple of differences. So, in fact, there's very little differences. The difference is that, first of all, you need to draw the pacifier just like that. and that just replaces where the mouth would be. You put just like a little bit of the lip underneath, and then you draw the ear the same. And then before you start, now in this sense, Maggie is easier to draw out than it is to draw with Lisa, just to get like the pacing. But first you give the eyelashes, 2, 3, that will do, and then directly above that you draw the bow, and then there is a spike in the middle of the bow, so we can very clearly see that this is going to be Maggie Simpson, and draw that round there, put another spike there, that will do. We get the idea of who this is now. Oh, she's on drugs, the pupil there is so big, and then we just draw that round for the neck. And then what we need on Maggie Simpson is just to draw the arm like that, and then the body comes around like this. Give Maggie her hand, and then she has like a bit of a tail that goes out because she just crawls around in her onesie. And I don't get why she's got like a onesie that doesn't have legs. It's an interesting choice. But there we see we've got the main Simpsons family. But we will add a little bit more to this just because we've got space on the page. I might colour this in a little bit. Probably just draw the Simpsons, but someone has put, so Lewis Bait-Up has said to draw Barney Gumble. Okay, I don't know if I've got a reference photo of Barney, but I'm trying to remember what. So Barney's got. I'll probably have to get a reference photo. So Barney's going to be about the same height as Homer, and he's got slightly more sorry for himself eyes, and has he got a rounder nose? Bigger rounder nose. I feel like that's slightly too round, but Barney's got a bigger nose. And what else does Barney have? So he's got his eyes the same process, big like that. I may have to get a reference photo for Barney just because I forget what he's got. He's got like messy hair on the top, and so let's do his burpy face. So that's basically Barney. I remember there's one where he's like Victorian times Barney Gumble, and he's got like the round pudginess. He does have a bit more of a turkey neck, I suppose. I'm gonna have to look up a photo. I can't remember Barney enough. Where's his hair like? Something like this. Something. I feel like he's turning into one of the children of the Mr. Burns equivalent. My God, I forget her name in Futurama now. But this is where he's like turning into like the old style Mr. Hyde version, I guess. So it's something like this, and then when he burps, he's got that over there and that over there. That's basically Barney, I guess. And then I think he's got like a little bit of a collar, and then he's got even rounder body. The size of this is probably gone completely out now. Let's just see what space I've got over here. I believe Barney once again has the sleeves like Homer, which will come around here, and then he's got slightly more chubby fingers, I believe. This works for Barney. Probably not done this quite round enough, but that's basically Barney Gumble. But look, the height's going way off. It's all over the place. Did I just accidentally draw? Yeah, I did draw a line. So let's just undo that line. So there's Barney. Let's add in someone else. Anyone else people would like me to draw? I think probably I should try and get Grandpa or Mr. Burns in here somewhere. So let's do Grandpa Simpson. Which, once again, the interesting thing with Grandpa Simpson is that you start things the same, but you can perhaps give him a bit more tired eyes. So instantly you see that he's got like the crow's whatever, but his nose is slightly, oh, that's slightly wrong, slightly droopier, and his mouth, oops, let's just correct that, his mouth has got these wrinkles on it. So he's like Homer, but just slightly more craggy. And give him a second eye. And then the thing with Grandpa is he hasn't got the best vision, so you have to give him glasses. So he's got spectacles on, which will obviously come over to his ear. And because he's an older guy, he's got the slightly bigger ears, so this is where it changes again. And whereas Homer's got a round head, Grandpa Simpson has these lines going up his head, and just like 2 or 3, I almost feel like I've turned him into Winky, Blinky, the one-eyed fish. Maybe a couple of like livery spots and just things above his eyes. I think I've overdone the ones that side. But that's basically Grandpa Simpson. And then he's got that round there. And then he's got something like that there. And then I think he's got like, giving him strange non-Simpson shaped arms here. But that is basically it. 2, 3. And then we've got that drawn there. And oops. So he's once again got a roundish belly, but I've made him a bit too skinny, probably just fitting him on the screen. And then we've got someone, so someone says, let me just check your name, you're on Twitch, Corison, and they said, bro, this is crazy, and clap. Well, thank you, I do appreciate that. I'm just doodling. Like, we had a live stream last night and it went down, so I figured before we do another live stream, because we've got a comedy show again tonight, that I should test to make sure that the stream is working. Probably just an internet issue, but let's just draw some of the Simpsons, because I like drawing. Interesting story. What has happened to his turkey legs there? Interesting story is that all this streaming, I've never done streaming until the whole COVID thing. And, you know, obviously I've got into it doing these shows. Oh, you said so talented. So thank you. I do appreciate any kind of praise. It's just fun. There's so many characters. I'm going to bring up like a reference photo of characters in a minute. But there's so many characters I couldn't draw. It's just that I've drawn these ones because I've watched The Simpsons since I was about 5 years old. And so these ones are very much in my brain. So who have we got? Let's get Mr. Burns in there. But I can't think how they draw these on The Simpsons, where you get like rows of characters and it looks like it makes sense. So I suppose if they're all on stairs, so it doesn't matter if their height's correct or not. But Mr. Burns, once again, actually, if Mr. Burns got slightly smaller eyes, perhaps. I don't think really, but maybe ever so slightly smaller, especially if I've got him on the back row. Then he's got this long nose, and then he's got one of the few characters that's got some hint of roundness to his nose, if I remember correctly. So once again, let's give him some evil eyes. So he's Mr. Burns. That is wrong. What have I drawn wrong here? Let's bring up. Am I drawing Dick Dastardly by mistake? And then someone said Apu. I will get to Apu. I'll do Apu after Mr. Burns. But I am going to have to bring up a reference thing for these characters. I'm going to have to bring up something just so I can see what the characters looks like. So Mr. Burns. It's so weird that you can absolutely visualise a character in your head, but then you just see that there's something ever so slightly off. So yeah, I know exactly what I've done. I know what I've done wrong. Mr. Burns, I've drawn his eyes with the angry eyes. He's got a permanent frown. That's where this has gone wrong. So let's start again on Mr. Burns. So Mr. Burns, we're going to start again. Because you've got to start Mr. Burns, instead of with the eyes, you start Mr. Burns with the forehead. So the way you draw Mr. Burns is by going around and like that. Now we can already see some of that Charles Montgomery Burns coming in. And then we get the eye, then we'll get the nose, and then we'll get the other eye. And so here we can see that we've got very evil-eyed Mr. Burns. He's got the liver spots on his forehead, of course, and then he's got the hair that just goes around the side there, and a traditional ear. So it's interesting, actually, that he doesn't have the droopy old man ear the same as Grandpa. And so Kari-san said same lol. I don't know what that refers to. I do apologise. I'm really bad with like some of these names, especially if they're like streamer names. But if you tell me how it's meant to be pronounced. I'll try and pronounce it correctly as I do any of this talking. But anyway, let's come back to Mr. Burns here. So we need to get his nose with a round a bit, and then he's quite evil. So if you really want to, you can give him a little bit of an evil grin. I haven't there, but then obviously he's just going to come round and have his neck, and once again, with so many of these characters, they've got collars on, which is an interesting observation. I think it was just like a thing that male characters are all just in shirts with collars. So once we've got Mr. Burns done, we will do a poo. I don't know if I can do a poo off the top of my head. He's got like interesting hairline, which I'm just going to end up getting wrong if I don't look it up properly. So, but I don't mind looking it up. I can still give some thoughts. This isn't meant to directly be a tutorial, but I should have actually put this stream as well that I'm drawing the Simpsons characters, because that is basically what it's become that I'm doing now. So Mr. Burns there, as we've got the characters starting to overlap, I really don't know that I'm going to have... Do you know what? I should do Mr. Burns with his hands, shouldn't I? Because I haven't got that on the reference picture. But I should do Mr. Burns with his excellent hands going out the front. So, Mr. Burns, he's going to have... gosh, I'm going to have to think how to draw this. So 1, 2, maybe a curved finger is 3 there. But he doesn't look like he's saying excellent, so maybe this was a mistake. Oh my god, what is going on with his arm? Let's forget that one. We're going to forget that. Okay, so let's just fix this, because I think the hand is potentially okay, but let's just have a look. The hand is okay, and we're going to put this going straight round there and to his arm there, and then we need the same from the other side, so 2, 3 fingers there, and he is kind of doing his excellent arms, although it's a bit shoddy, and I do appreciate that it is a little bit shoddy there. So, as this is the interesting thing about drawing group shots, it's very easy just to look at this and think, well, where does Mr. Burns disappear to behind Maggie? And this is why you really should do things in colour if you're going to do a big group shot. So maybe, in fact, if I just add a few layers, I can add in a yellow layer underneath. And let's just see, I don't want to do all the layers. Oh, my colour selector is not on the Cintiq. Let's bring this over here, and we're going to select the colour yellow, and then very quickly let's just add in some yellow. Now it's interesting, when you draw Family Guy characters, a lot of the Family Guy characters have slightly different skin tones, and I don't know that that's actually true with The Simpsons. So I might be slightly off if this is the case, but look how much you can quickly punch up a drawing like this. I'm only going to roughly fill it in. If I just do the yellow to begin with on all of the characters, so I said I wasn't going to colour this in, but if we've got characters overlapping, it will get insane. And realistically, I should start to draw like the next layer of characters behind these ones, just so it doesn't damage the drawings, if you know what I mean. So there's a little tip if anyone's doing Photoshop, or if you use Procreate, if you've got an iPad Pro, make sure you use the different layers, because if you use the different layers, then you can draw characters behind each other. I remember years ago when I was first using Photoshop, I would never understand. I didn't even know that you could use layers, and when it was first brought up, the idea of using layers, I was like, oh, that sounds really complicated. But it's just adding a layer and then drawing underneath, or drawing something on top, and then it keeps the drawing separate. It doesn't damage one thing or the other. So let's just put a little bit of yellow. So now it's just become like a colouring book, which I suppose if I was doing a colouring book and speaking ever so softly like an ASMR video, I feel like David Attenborough when I speak like that, actually. But here we've got Marge Simpson just about coloured in. We'll colour in Lisa, even though I know that Marge probably got legs at the bottom that I need to colour in. But you'll see how much this just instantly brings it to life, and hopefully anyone out there watching, seeing this happening, hopefully the colour makes it a bit more interesting, a bit more visual, a bit more engaging, you know. Not that I was planning this to be a long show, but it's quite fun actually. I've never done a live stream drawing before, but it's kind of fun. I'll use this opportunity just to mention that tonight at 8:30 p.m. UK time we're going to have a improv comedy show. So this is the Extreme Improv channel on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you're watching it, Twitter, Mixer. We're good on all of them, and we welcome people from everyone. We've got a chat that goes across all of them, so that it doesn't matter if you're on one or the other, you can still be engaged with the chat, and we'll get the messages. And of course, as you can see on the screen, we haven't had tons of messages, but I appreciate everyone who has put a message. Lydia, Karisan, and Lewis, people that have given messages. Anyone else wants to suggest a character to draw? What I could do after this, I think I'll stick on the Simpsons character, but if anyone wants to give me a quick speed drawing challenge of something, it could be literally anything. It doesn't have to be a cartoon, it could be something even if I don't know it, and I could give it a go. Nothing dodgy though, I don't want to draw anything dodgy on the channel. But there we go. See, look how much this punches up the picture. Just if it was literally just this one colour that I use, if you're drawing the Simpsons, it has to be yellow. And it's so interesting to think that all of the Simpsons characters, who are meant to be Caucasian at least, have this yellow skin. Obviously, the beard on Homer and Grandpa and Krusty the Clown is a different colour. Let's just come down and check what we've got, hands and legs down there. So we'll give Lisa her body, and Marge will give her legs in a second. So there we go, Marge's got her legs coming out there. And then last but not least, we've got Bart. Anyone out there watching this, if you're a fan of The Simpsons, tell me, what's your favourite episode of The Simpsons? Do you like, is it Disenchantment? I think it's Disenchanted, the new one from Matt Groening, and Futurama. I could draw some Futurama characters, could draw some Family Guy, could draw some Disney characters. Doesn't have to be cartoon. I could take a little bit longer and draw something a bit more serious, a bit more real drawing. Not this isn't a real drawing, no offence to people that like drawing cartoons, but you know what I mean, something a bit more detailed, a bit more lifelike, realistic. I could give that a go, because this is just interesting for me to get used to doing the drawings. Something which you can't really see is that most people hold their pens like this. I hold it like that, so I literally don't use my thumb. A little story for everyone out there is a year ago I was bitten by a dog and I couldn't use this finger, and it was tragic because most people hold their pen like that and their middle finger wouldn't come into it. Because I hold it like that, my main drawing finger was my middle finger. So I ended up not using my thumb, not using my middle finger, and I was just kind of drawing like that in between my ring finger and my index finger, which was very bizarre. So let's, who did we see? Lydia said, Apu Nahas Apim Apetalon. I appreciate your dedication to being able to spell that. I am going to have to get a reference photo of Apu, and then I'm just going to write The Simpsons. Apu Simpsons, because I do not know how to spell Apetalon. So we're going to get a image of Apu, and last year myself and my girlfriend went to Universal, and we went to Universal Studios, and they actually had Simpsons Land area of it, and you could go into the Quickie Mart. And when I bought something, I wanted the person to work in there just to go, "Thank you, come again," and they didn't. So I said it to them, and they said they were going to say it, but I don't believe them, to be honest. I do not believe they were going to say it. I think they just worked there, it was hot, and they were just going to not say what I think it should be in their contract if you work at Universal Studios in the Simpsons section to say, which is, "Thank you, come again." Okay, so let's draw Apu. And let's put on another layer and put this as a layer behind everyone else. Oh, I forgot to colour in Barney. That is nuts, isn't it? Forgot he was hiding off the screen there. So, if I start to draw a poo, once again, he's probably got slightly smaller eyes. And then I'm having to look at the reference photo for this one completely. He's got like the nose there and then round like that. That's an Apu nose. And after that, once again, it's still that the eye comes out like this, and he still has the brow. Very few characters have drawn on eyebrows, and like obviously the male characters don't have eyelashes drawn on. But let's see how this goes up, because at the moment that still looks like, in my head, it feels like I could turn it into Principal Skinner. So I wonder if they've got similar noses, or if I'm just completely remembering it wrong. So Apu's hair goes there, and then let's just remove that bit and move that, because he doesn't have like, he's got fairly long sideburns, but then his ear comes there, and then see, this is a slightly more complicated character to draw, and his mouth comes up like that, and he's usually a happy character. So let's draw him a big smile, because we haven't done that yet. And then let's just have a quick look. So if his ears there, his neck can come there, and I feel like he looks quite like young Apu. And I think the difference maker will be that he's got his mustache. Is there any shape to the mustache? Just looking at my reference photo, I think there should be. So I feel like Apu is really starting to appear here. So you go like this, give him a bit of hair there. Still feel like I've drawn young Apu somehow. Like this is teenage Apu. And there we go, that's vaguely Apu. Perhaps cut out a little bit of the hair there. I can actually colour his hair in, because it is it black or is it like dark grey? Let's just make it very dark grey in case. But once again, if I'm going to do that, let's just draw that on the underneath layer. Turn up the size of this tool, and we'll colour that in. So there we've got Apu Nahas Apim Apedalon. Now, getting his skin tone, which I'll do Barney again in a second, but I'll try and get his skin tone. I haven't done his eye, I haven't done his pupils, so he's like zombie Apu at the moment. Getting his skin tone is going to be slightly more of a challenge, just because he's been drawn various ways. We'll try this though. So that looks right, at least on my monitor at least. And here's the other tip: if you draw in layers, if you draw like a cartoon character, you can draw the outline on one layer, and then if on the underneath layer you then do the colouring in, it means that I don't have to worry about overlapping the edges. So as I'm drawing within the lines, it doesn't matter if I overlap the edges, because as you can see, I'm just really quickly sketching around the eye there, and you can still see the perfect shape of his eye, because as I'm reaching the edge, I'm drawing underneath the outline. I'm not drawing on top of it. Whereas if you were drawing, just trying to colour in like a proper real-world colouring book, there's the chance that you would be drawing on top of the line, which is not going to look as good. So this is the amazing thing about layers. And it's funny because I've never done one of these drawing things before. But what's quite cool about it is I feel like I'm doing really blatantly obvious tutorials. So I'm saying the things that probably everyone out there already knows anyway. So I apologise about that. But for now, I can always pick up that skin tone again when we get to do more of it. Let's choose where he's looking. So let's have Apu just looking over there, and we'll give him some visible teeth, and then yeah, he looks good. Aha! This is where I got Apu wrong. He doesn't have a neckline the same as everyone else. He's got like his shirt open, so he is like got a little bit of chest hair, and then he's got his shirt collar here, and that's like a black shirt. You see how if I had, once again, look at those collars though. Looking at a reference photo, look at the collars. So interesting that so many Simpsons characters have visible collars like this. I think Peter Griffin in Family Guy does as well. So maybe there's something about drawing male cartoon characters works better with open collars. Perhaps that defines them more. I don't know, I'm just taking a guess. So, is there anyone else that people out there... I didn't think I'd get any comments on this stream at all. We've still got a few people watching. It's not the busiest stream ever, but considering this was just like an idea for a test stream, I'm actually really pleased that people have checked it out at all. And I will definitely do more drawing shows, so extreme improv sketch shows in the future, because I didn't think this would work as well as it has already. So let's just look, how do we need to finish off Apu? Once again, I'm just going to put the standard, just standing still, arms down to the side like that. He's got a little bit of a trim to his jacket. Did I just draw on top of Bart? Okay, I didn't, but at the same time I did, just because you could see it through, obviously, a gap in the yellow that I had done. So we've got Apu, and let's just put in a little bit of legs for Apu. We don't really see them, but if we put that there, so look at that, I'm now drawing through Bart. Now here's a crafty thing. Oh look, I'm drawing on top of, oh my god. How am I drawing on top of the yellow? I shouldn't have done that. That's where I went wrong. I meant to be drawing Apu behind him. So now, there we go, sorted it out. I can draw that there. And I can put in his feet. Those feet aren't so bad. It's been like I've been avoiding feet, but literally I just didn't make the page quite long enough. So this now looks like it's really confused what I'm drawing. But if I come back to this yellow layer here, and let's put Bart in his traditional orange coloured shirt. So we'll grab that orange colour there. And if I go onto the colour layer, I can now colour in Bart's shirt. And Apu does exist behind Bart, but you won't be able to see it because Bart's in front. So literally I could take Bart out of the drawing and you would still be able to see a fully drawn Apu. Another magical thing about these layers. So there we go. We're starting to get some more colour on these characters. Forget what colour Barney has on him. I think we've got a similar but slightly lighter colour on Apu's shirt there. Oops. So I need like another layer under the layer just to colour Apu's shirt. So let's just have a look. Let's have a look. Okay. Uh-oh, that went wrong. So I'm making a couple of mistakes with my layers. So let's stop being a clever clogs about it. And we're now going to remove Apu. What I should have done is drawn the back layer first and then drawn the next layer on the top. But it's alright, we'll do a little bit more so that we can make sense of the character. And let's just go on to this layer here. And let's colour in... Oops, oh, I've got it on the rubber. Let's colour in Apu. Just so that way I can see who I need to draw on top of who. Trying to think what essential character I've not drawn. What essential character should I draw of The Simpsons that I haven't drawn yet? Anyone else want anything? Put it into the comments. Maybe Patty and Selma, Ned Flanders, lots of good characters. He doesn't have green legs. Let's find a colour for Apu, and we'll draw that in here. None of them are super shaded characters, but if we then come to Bart, and let's get some colour for his shorts, then it will just be his slingshot that we've not coloured in, and his shoes, of course. But let's just see what character from The Simpsons I should be drawing, but I have neglected to draw. So who are some options? Krusty. Krusty would be a good one. Chief Wiggum. Who else could we do? Smithers. Groundskeeper Willie. Loads of good characters here. Loads of good characters. Let's just colour in a little bit of Barney. And then we will perhaps do Krusty the Clown and end it there. Because I think this has been a successful stream in terms of the stream quality hasn't gone down. I know lots of factors, time of day and whatever, can affect it, and that may have literally just been the problem yesterday. The time of day may have messed things up. So, here we go. That is Barney mostly coloured in. I haven't actually drawn his feet on, so I'll need to see to that. Oops, I didn't do Apu's hand. Let's do Apu's hand. Because that was not Barney's hand behind him. That was Apu's hand. So...
I don't know that one.
Oh, Alexa thought I spoke to Alexa. I did not speak to Alexa. Let's get a slightly darker colour for the slingshot. There. That'll look quite good. Then we'll just need something for the rubber band. If we make it a red rubber band. Feels like rubber bands should be red. Or thereabouts, anyway. So, there we go. This is all coming together. I haven't done the whites of people's eyes or teeth or anything like that yet. I can do. Let's just do Barney's hair whilst we're at it. Whilst we're getting these different brown tones for Apu's skin and people's hair. I think I've got his hair a bit light. I think I've got his hair a little bit messed up. I didn't actually really check Barney. Saw him a moment ago when I brought up like a big group shot of characters. But there's Barney Gumble. And perhaps I should draw Mo. Can I even fit another character in here? It just feels weird if there's just Mr. Burns, Apu and Barney and there's no Krusty the Clown. I think I need to have Krusty the Clown. Let's draw Krusty the Clown straight away. And let's get this tool onto a decent size. So here's where things can get confusing. You need to go back onto your layers and make sure. But let's bring up a reference of Krusty. I think I can draw a good Krusty from memory, but just in case I can't, let's not mess it up at this stage. So Krusty is basically Homer with a few differences. He's got like a slightly craggier face. He's got like rings under his eyes. And a round nose, obviously. So, here we go. Let's start with Krusty the Clown. So, unlike the other characters, you should probably start with the nose, because he's got a round nose rather than... So he's got a nose that comes around the back here rather than just goes out. But then, it's very much Homer territory, with the eyes like this, the ear like that, and that's still all correct for Krusty. And then the mouth coming out exactly like it does on Homer. Give him some rings under his eyes, some bags. And then his mouth comes out slightly differently. So he's got a little bit more of... Oops, whoa. That was going so well right until that bit at the bottom there. He's got a slightly bit more shape to his mouth. So if I give him a shocked expression, so this is a classic Simpsons mouth, where you can see like the inside of the opening of their mouth. And then perhaps Krusty has a few teeth, except for I didn't draw those at all well. Let's give him, he's Krusty the Clown. Shall we have a character smile on this? So he's like, hey, hey, as he does on the show. God, do you know what? Like, the funny thing is, this is doing a stream on my own, and I feel like the need to keep talking, and maybe that's like a big, like, mistake. But I don't know what else to do. So I'm ended up doing my best Krusty the Clown impression, which perhaps isn't the best thing. that I'm doing a Krusty impression. Oh my god, I feel like he's turning into Mr. Teeny. What am I doing wrong on this? Is it because you can't see the mouth out that way? And there's like, hey, hey. That's like a thing of nightmares. That is a thing of nightmares. Let's just look at a reference photo. We'll get this right. If we have to make him angry, Krusty, we'll make him angry. It's because Krusty the Clown, you're more used to seeing him not happy than happy. So let's get his mouth and get the shape of it, and then we can fill in what we need to afterwards. That's again far too much of a steep curve there. So let's have a look, and you can have that looks good. Give him some teeth. That looks good. So we weren't far off before, and it just needs to be rounded there, and then a tongue, and then make it round there with a lump there. I think until we put the hair on, it's still going to look weird. So the thing with Krusty's hair, let's not make it too droopy. The thing with Krusty's hair is it's a bit like Marge's, where it's all going to come out to the sides, and then it goes up in these slightly devil horn style way, and then it's pure Homer head. But I'm going to run out of space on the top here. We'll do what I can. Pure Homer head, but he's got more hair coming out the top. That last line was a mistake. I'm being far much more precise on this than what I ever envisaged that I would. Okay, and then hair coming out to the sides, and there's something I've got wrong about the shape of his face. Maybe it's just that I've got his mouth protruding a bit too much. So if I just extend the shape of his eye, that should fix it. Almost. Not quite. It's only going to be rough. It doesn't matter. But then he's got, once again, shirt collar. But just as Maggie has a bow on the top of her head, Krusty the Clown has a bow tie. Let's just... We're going to get this mouth right. That's almost there. That's nearly correct now. And we'll just see if we can finish this off. So, exact same body shape as Homer. And because he's going, hey, hey, let's put his arms out to the side. Back here. And then we'll have his body be nice and round. So we have to assume that these characters are all standing on stairs. That is nightmarish Krusty the Clown. I think I've just got that all just a bit too, like his philtrum is perhaps too big. I never normally have trouble drawing Krusty the Clown, so don't know what I've done wrong today. But that will do. So let's give him shirt sleeve, his arm can come out there, and his leg will come out there, but we won't see it. Now he will have lighter skin colour than the Simpsons, because he has the clown makeup on. So once again we need to go onto the layer behind, and then we need to colour in Krusty's clown makeup, which you later find out that it isn't makeup. For some reason he is that pale, but I can't remember if there is any reason for it. But you see him with makeup gets rubbed off of him, and he's like normal Krusty colour underneath, even though I think there was a really early episode where they actually do the reverse of that, where he's where he gets arrested, where he's framed by Sideshow Bob. Bart sees him, he's like, and he doesn't have his clown makeup on, and he looks so sad, and he's like, I didn't do it, and he doesn't have his Krusty the Clown voice. But then later in the same episode, when Bart goes to speak to him, he does have his Krusty the Clown voice. But anyway, let's see if I can rapidly colour this all in now. So that looks okay colour, perhaps for the beardy bits on nightmarish clown mouth Krusty, and also on Homer. So let's get that. Okay, let's get a red nose for Krusty, because he is a clown after all. Coloured that in. Who's got an open mouth that needs a little bit of colour? No one. Okay, so I'm glad I did at least one open mouth on these characters here. So let's choose an appropriate green for Krusty's hair. Now it's a slightly different green, slightly perhaps more hint of a blue in there, something like that. And we'll just colour that in very quickly. And we've got like a respectable cast of The Simpsons here. I'm not going to say that they're the best drawings ever, but my excuse, and it is an excuse I guess, is just that, yeah, I was just doing this for a bit of fun to test out a stream. And I've quite liked it. I could definitely do more streams where I'm doing drawings like this. So again, I'll use this opportunity just to remind everyone out there in internet land that tonight, if you would like to see some improv comedy, we have improv comedy on this channel. If you're watching this, wherever you may be watching this, we will have some live improv comedy shows, because we've got the Extreme Improv Extremed show, which will be on at 8:30 PM UK time. And then what else? Is there anything else you guys out there need to know? I don't know actually. What colour is Krusty's shirt? That's something I need to know. I think it's kind of like this pink colour. Did have a reference photo up, but then I've closed it. And then he's definitely got a blue tie. So there we go. All coming in nicely together now. And no one out there, you haven't told me what your favourite episode of The Simpsons is. Mine is Marge versus the Monorail, and I don't know why that is so loved nowadays. Because when you watch it, it doesn't feel as super special as I remembered it. Because I watched it again on Disney Plus not that long ago. That hair, that's not Marge's hair, rather. I need to get a good colour for Marge's hair. So it can't be slightly more purple. I need it to be definitely blue. So let's just colour in Marge's hair. Let's get a bigger brush just to do it really quickly. It's a shame in The Simpsons that nowadays the characters that they come up with, the designs, they look a lot more standard. They look a lot safer. They look a lot more like they could be caricatures of real people, just like when they have a guest star in and they make the guest star look like a Simpsonized version of a real person. So many of the characters nowadays they don't have chins, but they've got a lot straighter faces, often more realistic noses than the forward ones like the main Simpsons family. And they don't have anything as wild as like Marge with her 3-foot tall hair that's blue and curly. They don't have like someone like Krusty the Clown. They don't let other characters outside of Homer, Krusty, and Grandpa, and then Lenny have like the beard. Oh, I didn't do Grandpa's beard, so let's just grab that colour off of Homer. I assume that's going to be universally the right type of colour. Don't think it's too different. And I forget what colour shirt Grandpa wears. Let's have a look. I think he's sometimes yellow, sometimes blue. Let's go on to this slightly greeny colour. That's definitely wrong. You'd never see that in The Simpsons. So is this colour I'm using now green or blue? Because to me it's definitely green, but some people say that's definitely blue. But to me it's like an aqua green, so who knows. And then let's give him darker coloured pants, as they would say in America. They call trousers pants. We call when we say pants, we mean like your underwear. That's what we mean in the UK. Don't know if I've got hay fever. And then let's colour in Maggie Simpson whilst we're on the blue. Then we'll do Lisa. Then look at this, we're always working outwards in. And we can end on Homer, to be honest. What colour shirt should Barney have? Let's get something similar to that. I don't think I did that earlier, did I? So let's colour that in really rapidly. Oh, I haven't done his arm. See, I knew I needed to colour his arm earlier, and then I went to colour onto Apu's hand, but it was Barney's arm that I didn't do. So, almost there now, guys. Almost there. It's been a long slog to get here, but we have almost achieved it. So let's do Barney's arm. There we go. All these colours next to each other, it does look good. It looks impressive, even if the drawings aren't all perfect. Do red Duff beer can. But it just makes it for like an exciting overall drawing. I'm trying to remember what colour. I think Lisa has normal coloured. And does Marge have red pearls, or are they blue? Let's assume they're red. I'm trying to think if I've got anything Simpsons around where I'd see Marge Simpson on. The only Simpsons thing I've got around is a Simpsons Bret Hart figure, which isn't going to actually help me to know how to draw this. Let's grab blue for Barney. Get this done rapidly, colouring it in. So if this was going to be an ASMR video where I'm talking ever so quietly and relaxingly as I do this artwork, then is that something that people like? I don't know. So let's also colour Homer. I said I was going to do Homer last, but he needs the blue pants. The blue trousers. Because I'm speaking American by saying pants. This is going nicely. Here we go. Love it. What colour are Bart's shoes? They're blue as well, aren't they? I don't think this is the right blue, but if it's all slightly off, this really doesn't matter too much. Let's get definitely I need baby blue, powder blue for Maggie, so that will do. Oh, and I need the red for her pacifier. And did I do Krusty's bow tie? I think I did. See, I could have been drawing other characters now, but now I've just been colouring them in. Is it more fun that I've coloured them in or not? Let me know in the comments section. I did do his bow tie. Because, like, I get it. Like, you're doing this over and over. Colouring bits, and it's not showing you new characters. So that might not be as fun. Let's grab a green dress for Marge, because she wears green. But you see how they've got, like, bright green, blue hair, blue trousers. Like, Homer's got a white shirt, which I suppose is the most boring aspect. And then, I know in The Simpsons there's an episode where Lisa says that she has this one red dress. But to me, it's always orange. I always see the colour that Lisa wears as orange, rather than red. But, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So let's grab that now. So it's like blood orange, I guess. So to me that isn't quite red. It's like blood orange. I can't remember what colour her shoes are. Are her shoes the same colour as her dress? Surely not. Let's just try it, see if that works. That will do for now. I just want to get this coloured in and all done. So let's get something for Mr. Burns. I'm Mr. Burns, blah blah blah. Let's put him into a dark coloured suit, so greyish blue. Some people might say that's just grey. Oh, I didn't realise I'd made him a fat Mr. Burns. And I haven't done Maggie's pacifier or her bow, so I'll do that momentarily. Accidentally just coloured into a little bit of the bubbly, a little bit of the Maggie rather. Do 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 do. And Mr. Burns' hair, which also needs to be grey. The last thing I'll probably be colouring in is the white. Whites of their eyes, whites of their teeth. Okay, and let's give similar colour there, just to fill in the gaps. No one's going to pay this much attention. What does it matter anyway? If you think it matters, do let me know. What else should I draw another time? Because as I've almost wrapped this up, this has been fun. What would be fun to draw another time? So, last bits now. Let's grab that from Maggie. And then do her bow in her hair. And let's grab that for her pacifier. There we go. Mr. Burns doesn't have any feet. Maggie doesn't have hands coloured. So let's just grab black and very quickly give Mr. Burns some shoes or sensor shoes there. Is there any other colours I've missed, or is it now just filling in the white? So what colour across his trousers? Again, I'm going to assume that he's got blue trousers on. Ooh, I'm giving him black. Didn't pick up that colour well. So that is definitely the wrong blue. I think he's got green actually. Let's see if green works better. Wait, what colour does he have? Because he's got I think it's green. He's got green hair, so maybe that fits in well, or maybe that doesn't. Okay, let's grab the white, and Barney will be the first character I've actually finished, unless I forget to do his teeth. And then let's do the teeth of Apu, the eye of Bart. Whenever I used to draw on like paper when I was young, I'd never use like a white colouring pencil to fill in a character's eyes, because for me, you could just have it that if you're drawing on white paper that it's white, but that is problematic. Oh, for some reason this is frozen on me. I have lost my mouse. Okay, the mouse has come back. That was a bit worrying for a second. We may be having an issue. Is this a streaming issue, or is it a pen issue? I don't know. So the pen is gone. The pen has gone, guys. The pen has gone right at the death. Let's see what's happened here. For some reason, I've lost my screen. I've lost my screen. Okay, hang on. I've literally, I can't believe this has happened to me. I'm moving. Hang on. So I'm moving my drawing. This is all gone tragically wrong. Let's get the drawing back in place. And let's come over here. Look, we're drawing there. For some reason, I've actually got a big challenge now, where my pen is controlling the wrong screen, and this happened right at the very end. But we're gonna solve this later. So let's just use the mouse to do a little bit of really awful. It's so hard. Look at that. I'm already making mistakes. So hard. Someone says, Real Guy Somber says, awesome drawings. I thank you. I've just had a catastrophic problem where my Cintiq has gone wonky on me. So let's see if I can recalibrate it very quickly. So I've got Wacom Desk Center open. And Cintiq, yep. So pen calibration. So let's do, I've clicked on pen calibration. I might have to end this stream, guys. This is really sad, because pen calibration. It says, where are you from, my friend? I am from the United Kingdom. So hello, where are you from? Let me know. So let's just have a quick look. I've got something that says about updates. So I don't want backup settings. I want pen calibration. And when I click on it, it's not working. That's really weird, isn't it? You're from Bosnia. Well, hello there from the United Kingdom to Bosnia. I am just having a little bit of a nightmare because I'm having to finish this drawing, which I've been drawing with a Cintiq, a pencil, like on a screen. And I think when I moved, like, messed things up. So look at this. I might be killing my whole stream here. Oh look, so that's disappeared on me. I'm still on the screen, but I've just unplugged my Cintiq and I'll plug it back in, and hopefully, oh, you're now seeing all of my desktop. Hopefully, if I bring the screen, right, so I'm just switching things back on. We'll see if we can get things working. So, if I can bring this back over here. Fingers crossed now. Fingers crossed. No, it's not working. I'm gutted. I've got something's gone wrong. But it's not a streaming issue. It was because I moved the screen and I've messed up this drawing. But tell me what you think, everyone, because I'll end this here. We can see The Simpsons. I got literally every colour drawn. The only one where it faltered was just filling in all of the whites of the eyes and everything. I didn't do the top of the beer can as well. Okay, and so Homer's got a very crudely shirt that's coloured in there. Let's see, can we do a bit of Marge's eyes? It'd probably almost have been better to leave it with a checker thing behind it. Hang on, I'm being silly, in fact. If I just bring a layer here and fill it onto a white background, then I've done it. I've achieved it. So, let's get the screen. Let's zoom out. Let's get all of the characters that I've drawn on the one screen together. And there you go. So, what do you think? I would sign it, but I can't sign it. Plus, I don't want to give my signature out that people can steal on the internet and then steal my identity. But yeah, so there you can see I started drawing Homer Simpson, added in Marge and Bart and Lisa and Maggie and Barney and Grandpa, Mr. Burns, Apu and Krusty the Clown. And I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you so much. Do make sure you check out our live comedy shows, because I've just been rambling on. I don't think I've been particularly funny. But there's lots of other people on the live comedy shows. Extreme Improv, Extremed, which will be tonight at 8:30 PM UK time. And then we're going to have a matinee at 12 PM time, UK time again. 12 PM time. 12 PM UK time tomorrow, which is Friday. And then, quite possibly, if you're a fan of Doctor Who, anyone out there, we're going to be having a Doctor Who themed show on Saturday, I believe at 6 PM, if I've understood this correctly. But you can find out just by, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're on Twitch, click follow. If you're crazy on Twitch and want to click the subscribe button there, I'd be very grateful, but don't feel any pressure to do any of this. If you're watching on facebook.com/Extreme Improv, click the like. Anywhere where you've seen it, I appreciate it. Let people know about Extreme Improv, our live shows. We're going to do some more of these sketch shows, as they're called, and we'll probably do some scripted sketch shows, which I'll then have to come up with a different name for, because people think a sketch show is like Little Britain or Harry Enfield and Chums and things, whereas this is literally a sketch drawing show. So I thought that was witty, but it probably creates some problems later. My name is David Pustansky. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter. You can find lots of podcasts from Extreme Improv just by searching Extreme Improv. We've got the Super Kick Mania Pro Wrestling podcast if you're into like WWE or AEW or Impact Wrestling or any of that stuff, Ring of Honor. We've also got the Mega Movie podcast where we talk about movies, and we'll probably talk about The Simpsons at some point, just to keep it relevant to this drawing. And we will... How far can I move? Look at this. It's like I can poke Maggie Simpson up the nose on the screen, and I can't do anything to Grandpa or Mr. Burns because they're too high up, because my arm disappears. But also we have the Games Monster podcast, where we talk about video games, and I do lots of live streaming of video games. Recently I've been playing Resident Evil 3 and 4, and I've also got loads of other games that I will probably be streaming too. Been doing some Tetris, might do a little bit of Tetris in a minute just to test out the stream there again. But until next time, thank you so much. Extreme Improv, stay extremed,